Joining us today on Starto is the founder and CEO of a company called iGiveFirst, Mr. Sharif Youssef. Sharif, welcome.
Thank you.
What is going on, my brother?
Just startup life.
Startup life.
Startup life.
It's an exciting life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had hair before my startup life. So you and we're in Founder Institute together. We are drilled to do elevator pitches. So you are suddenly, ding, and Mr. Brad Feld's sitting next to you, and you have an opportunity to pitch him about iGiveFirst. Go.
Wow, on the spot. So iGiveFirst makes giving as easy as liking or tweeting. And the way we do that is at the point of media impact, media has gotten used to exploiting human emotion to try to get us to do something, say something, read something. It just tries to get us to basically spend money. And the way they do that is they make us laugh, cry, get angry or sad by giving us images. The interesting thing is we've been completely and totally powerless in regards to actually showing that we care or doing something that matters. So if you see a new panda that was born in the zoo, you should be able to donate to that zoo and say, I really support this, and I think that's a great thing. If there's something happening in the Middle East or another uprising that you want to support, you should be able to donate on the spot while you're reading that article and your emotions are the highest.
And so that's what you guys power. The ability for me to see something, whether it be a video, article, whatever,
correct,
and I can immediately give to related cause. But it, of course, begs the question, how do you find the right cause to donate to?
We have an artificial intelligence algorithm. So it's called latent semantic indexing or latent semantic analytics. And what it does,
yes,
basically,
I'm familiar with that.
the way it works is it basically scrapes down a content or a space online. So we know the topic, the tone, the urgency, the recency, and any nonprofits that were mentioned within the article.
So if I happen to be reading an article, let's say about a passion point of mine, which is clean water, how would your technology fit into that article?
So our technology basically scrapes down that article, and again, we know the topic, tone, urgency, recency, any nonprofits are mentioned with that article. So once you click on that give button, and that give button sits right in line with other social media buttons. So think anytime you see a share button, anytime you see a tweet, right next to that's a give button. You click on the give button, a sub window appears, it's about the size of a share window, completely secure, and the very first column of that are going to be nonprofits that are directly related to the article. So in your particular example, it would show like Water for the People or Water for Change or water.org.
That's amazing. And so really you're capturing people when their intent is the highest.
Absolutely.
Is that the magic?
Well, so emotion leads to action and reason leads to conclusion. While your emotions are highest and while you care the most, you should be able to click and give. There's an interesting bell curve that drops off very, very quickly. So the minute you're impacted, it goes straight up from a response standpoint, and then it comes straight down. There's a long tail.
I've heard it called the law of diminishing intent. So at that moment, you intend to do something, but the longer the time goes out, the less likely it is that you're going to take action.
Absolutely. It's about 7 days within charity.
Is that right? Okay, so tell us a little bit about your background, how you came up with this idea, how you were compelled. You had a good job, right? Yeah. Corporate America, doing okay.
Absolutely.
What was that moment that made you decide to go out and start this company?
You know, I spent 15 years in high tech. I've created solutions for companies like eBay, PayPal, Amazon, on behalf of companies like First Data Corporation, Axiom, Experian, IBM. In the process of doing that, I kind of crawled my way up from being a mailroom boy all the way to the top.
Were you actually ever a mailroom boy?
I was. It was called a Media Coordinator 3 or something like that. Wow. I delivered mail for First Data. That was my entryway into the corporate world. But in the process, my mother and father and sister came from Egypt to America due to the religious persecution. And my father basically couldn't find jobs out there. He would always be trumped because he was a Christian within a Muslim world. So he wanted to move out to the United States to have a better life. So there's really two parts. As I went all the way through corporate, I didn't feel I was really fulfilling my purpose. I wanted to do something that impacted humanity overall, but I also want to make sure I made my father proud. Both of my parents, as they came here, they lived the American dream of initially going door to door asking for bread and water, to building themselves up to be millionaires and then losing everything all over again. So
I don't know, it kind of is the American dream.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like, and then you got to make another fortune.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just knew that I wanted to make a difference worldwide and impact humanity. And I also know technology, so I looked to figure out a way how to merge those two. And I'll tell you, it's a huge difference. I wake up in the morning, and rather than feeling like I'm making or saving top executives money for large organizations, I know I'm trying to feed the poor, the sick, and the needy, right?
I mean, that's an unbelievable story because your family truly was affected by charity.
It's the reason we survived.
your family wouldn't have survived without that ability for people to give.
Correct.
And people to donate.
Correct.
And now what you're trying to do is take that notion of charity, which I mean, we're an incredibly generous society, yes?
Yep, absolutely.
And so you're trying to be able to take that and spread it to the masses.
Correct.
It's an amazing deal.
Just a quick story. In Egypt, they teach proper English. And so I love hearing my mom tell the story.
They teach it in Texas, too. It's just a little different.
Is that English?
Yeah. I don't know.
So when my mom first came, in Egypt, everybody's required to learn English. The problem is it's proper English and sometimes improperly taught English. So they taught her to say aqua in a British accent with her Egyptian accent, and they first flew out to Cleveland as the first patron.
Oh, great. Yeah, they don't speak English in Cleveland. Just kidding, Cleveland.
So as my mom first got here, they were staying in a church because they didn't have a place to stay. They went door to door with my sister and basically asking for aqua. And my mom said, yeah, we're looking for aqua. And the lady said, water? She said, no, aqua. Water? And finally my mom's like, aqua. She goes, water. What? So my mom had to learn water versus aqua.
Water. She probably has the screwiest accent of any human being on the planet.
Yeah, and I can't imitate that one. I can get Cleveland. But in the process, hearing my mom tell the story and hearing about the generosity of people that basically opened up the door, took my parents in, taught them not only the English language but the culture, and allowed them to create a family of friends. My mother is one of 8 children in Egypt, and my dad is one of 5. And if you think about it, what causes somebody to leave their enormous families to come to the United States and abandon everything they know? And the answer was they wanted a better life for their children. And again, that's the entire point of really wanting to make them proud. On the same note, I want to give better life to other people too.
It's an amazing story. So you are just getting going, right? Mm-hmm. Just kind of getting started. Tell us about where you are now, what you hope to achieve. What can we expect to see from iGiveFirst?
The one question we could never answer that investors and people alike would ask us was, how many people would randomly click on a give button that they don't know and they've never seen? So we put it on 2 websites, one of them being ICOSA Magazine. Nice. ICOSA Magazine got a 3% click-through rate, which is 12 times what benchmark was. So we're in the process of uploading 145,000 nonprofits into the system. We have built out our own ad server. Everything is a completely scalable model. From a technology perspective, we didn't cut any corners. So as we grow, we already have the scalability built in.
One of the things that's magic about iGiveFirst is the incredible team that you've been able to recruit in. Talk about, one, how it is that you're able to sell a vision for something, for a product that was still in development at the time, and B, talk about that team and what they're able to accomplish.
We've got about 17 total people, and that includes advisors on board that are helping iGiveFirst, 7 of which are full-time. But included in that full-time mix of people that have been working completely for free, just due to the fact that they want to see this go, are people like the former CMO of Media News Group. Formerly, she was Vice President of Strategy for Microsoft and Vice President for Marketing for Yahoo. And then we brought other people in, like the CIO of Mile High United Way, Senior Vice Presidents from Experian, Vice Presidents from Axiom. We really have senior level executives, and the reason it's important that we build that team is I'm passionate and I believe that that team is necessary in order to build the world's first global giving brand.
Sharif, thanks so much for your time today. Best of luck with iGiveFirst.
Thank you.
How can people get in touch?
Sharif at iGiveFirst.com. It's SHARIF at iGiveFirst.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.